If I told you that something as simple as a glass of milk could quietly push you closer to a stroke, would you believe me? Many older adults enjoy milk every day, thinking it is always safe and nourishing, yet over the years, I've seen too many patients who were surprised to learn that certain types of milk products were slowly harming their blood vessels, raising blood pressure, and setting the stage for a dangerous stroke. I still remember one gentleman, Mr. Harris, 68 years old, who came to see me after a minor stroke. He was shocked when I explained that his favorite comfort food, a creamy sweetened dairy drink, was one of the hidden reasons his arteries had grown stiff and clogged. Like many people, he had believed that milk in any form must be healthy. That's why today's video is so important. We're going to uncover 7 types of milk products that older adults often drink without realizing they may quietly raise the risk of stroke. Let me ask you the questions. Do you believe the milk you drink every day is truly safe for your heart? And if you found out it wasn't, would you be willing to make a small change? If your answer is yes, type the number 1 in the comments. If you're not so sure, type 0. We promise to read and respond to every single comment, and before we dive in, make sure you subscribe to Health 304 so you won't miss our future videos on how to live longer, healthier, and more vibrant years ahead. Many seniors enjoy a small cup of creamy yogurt each morning, often believing it is a gentle, healthy start to the day. But when that yogurt is made with whole milk and added sugar, the story changes. Whole milk yogurt is rich in saturated fats, and when sugar is added on top, the combination can disturb the delicate balance of fats in your blood. Over time, this imbalance known as dyslipidemia damages the lining of your blood vessels. When the inner wall of an artery is injured, it becomes sticky, allowing cholesterol to build up and form plaques. These plaques narrow the vessel and make it brittle, setting the stage for a stroke if one cracks or bursts. I once met Mrs. Thompson, a 70-year-old woman from Ohio who came to me worried about dizziness and shortness of breath. She proudly told me that she avoided desserts, but she had a daily ritual of eating 2 bowls of sweetened whole milk yogurt. She thought it was a better choice than ice cream. Her blood tests, however, showed very high levels of LDL cholesterol and triglycerides. After a heart scan, we discovered early signs of artery thickening. She was heartbroken to realize that her healthy snack had quietly contributed to her condition. With guidance, she switched to plain low-fat yogurt with fresh fruit. Within 6 months, her cholesterol improved and she felt lighter and more energetic. If you enjoy yogurt, there's no need to give it up completely. The safer choice is plain, low-fat, or Greek yogurt without added sugar. Adding fresh berries or a drizzle of honey is far less harmful than the heavy load of sugar and flavored cups. Even small daily swaps like this can protect your arteries and keep your brain healthier. And this is only the beginning, because what comes next might surprise you even more. A milk product many seniors grew up loving. Yet, it can harden the arteries so quickly that it rivals some of the most dangerous habits. For many older adults, evaporated milk brings back childhood memories. Its thick, creamy texture feels comforting, and some people even add it to coffee or desserts every day. But hidden inside that familiar can is a heavy dose of cholesterol and saturated fat. When consumed regularly, these fats collect along the walls of your arteries like wax clogging a narrow pipe. Over time, the artery loses its flexibility. Instead of expanding gently with each heartbeat, it becomes stiff and fragile. That stiffness means when blood pressure rises, whether from stress, excitement, or even walking up the stairs, the artery wall is more likely to crack. A rupture in the brain can trigger a devastating hemorrhagic stroke. I think of Mr. Delgado, a 70-year-old retired mechanic who used evaporated milk in his morning coffee for decades. He told me it gave him the perfect rich flavor. But when he came into the clinic after a dizzy spell, his blood pressure was alarmingly high and a scan revealed early vessel damage in his brain. He was shocked because he rarely ate fast food or fried meals. He thought he was being careful. Yet that daily splash of evaporated full-fat milk had quietly loaded his arteries with cholesterol over the years. When he switched to a lighter alternative and began monitoring his blood pressure more carefully, he gradually regained control of his health. If you love creamy coffee or recipes, try unsweetened almond milk, oat milk, or even evaporated low-fat versions. They provide the richness without overloading your arteries. Some patients even blend low-fat milk with a little cinnamon or vanilla extract for flavor. It's HARDA-friendly and satisfying. And while this is concerning, the next type of milk product is even more deceptive. It combines two dangers at once: fat and sugar, creating what I call the double punch to your blood vessels. That's where things get truly risky. Powdered milk seems convenient. Just scoop, stir, and you have a creamy drink. But when it's flavored and made with whole milk, it can quietly become one of the most dangerous habits for seniors. Why? Because it delivers a double hit: saturated fat from the whole milk and added sugar from the flavoring. Together, these to create chaos in the body. The fat raises LDL cholesterol while the sugar spikes blood glucose. This combination accelerates the buildup of plaques inside arteries and raises blood pressure. Scientists often call it a metabolic storm, and once it begins, the risk of stroke skyrockets. What makes it tricky is that flavored powders are often marketed as fun, family-friendly treats. Many seniors even prepare them for grandchildren, not realizing they are drinking the same sugary mix themselves every day. I remember Mrs. Carter, a 7-year-old grandmother from Texas who loved making a warm cup of chocolate-flavored milk powder each night before bed. She believed it helped her relax. But over the years, she gained weight. Her blood pressure crept higher and her blood sugar readings entered the prediabetes range. One evening, she fainted in her kitchen. At the hospital, doctors found that her arteries were thickened and her heart was under strain. She was devastated to learn that her cozy bedtime ritual had been quietly harming her body. With encouragement, she replaced the flavored powder with plain unsweetened almond milk and a small square of dark chocolate. Not only did her numbers improve, but she also felt more energetic in the mornings. If you enjoy milk powders, choose plain non-fat versions and add natural flavorings yourself like cinnamon, unsweetened cocoa, or even fresh fruit blended in. That way you avoid the hidden sugars and excessive fat while still enjoying a comforting drink. And while this double punch is already serious, the truth is the risk does not stop here. Even the classic whole milk itself, something most of us grew up with, can quietly harden arteries and set the stage for stroke. Let's look at why that's the case. Whole milk feels like a timeless classic. Many of us grew up drinking it with breakfast, believing it was the purest form of nourishment. Yet for seniors, this traditional choice can quietly become a hidden danger. Whole milk is packed with saturated fat, which directly raises LDL cholesterol, the type often called bad cholesterol. As LDL rises, it deposits inside artery walls, forming hard plaques. These plaques not only narrow the arteries but also make them vulnerable to rupture. If one breaks open, the body tries to repair it by forming a clot. That clot can travel to the brain and block blood flow, triggering an ischemic stroke. I recall Mrs. Allen, a 69-year-old retired teacher who proudly told me she avoided sweets and processed foods, but she loved her daily glass of whole milk, believing it was a wholesome habit. Her blood pressure was steady, yet her cholesterol kept creeping up year after year. Eventually, a scan revealed advanced plaque buildup in her carotid arteries, the main vessels carrying blood to the brain. She was shocked because she thought milk was the least of her worries. After switching to 1% milk and focusing more on leafy greens and fish, her cholesterol levels began to improve. She told me she wished someone had explained this to her earlier. If you still enjoy milk, there's no need to give it up completely. Opt for low-fat or skim versions, which provide calcium and protein without the heavy load of artery clogging. Fat. Some seniors even enjoy fortified plant-based options like soy milk, which can support heart health. Remember, the key is not to remove joy from eating, but to make small adjustments that keep your heart and brain safe. So, let me ask you, do you still think the glass of milk on your table is helping your health, or could it be holding you back? Comment 1 if you've ever wondered about it, or 0 if this surprised you, and don't forget to subscribe to Health 365 so you never miss these important conversations. And as we move forward, things get even trickier, because when milk is flavored, sweetened with chocolate, strawberry, or other additives, the risks grow in ways that many people don't expect. Flavored milk often feels playful and harmless. Chocolate milk, strawberry milk, even banana blends are marketed as fun ways to enjoy dairy. But behind the colorful cartons lies a hidden trap. Sugar. These drinks usually contain large amounts of added sugar, sometimes nearly as much as a can of soda. When seniors consume them regularly, blood sugar rises quickly and the body responds. By releasing insulin, over time, constant sugar spikes make the body resistant to insulin's effect. That resistance is one of the key drivers of type 2 diabetes. Diabetes doesn't just affect blood sugar, it transforms the entire bloodstream. Excess glucose thickens the blood and damages small vessels. Combined with the weight gain that often follows sugary drinks, the heart and brain are forced to work harder. The blood becomes more viscous, heavier, stickier, which raises the risk of clots. A clot traveling to the brain can block circulation in seconds, causing a stroke. Another danger comes from the misconception that flavored milk is healthy because it contains calcium and protein. While those nutrients are valuable, they cannot outweigh the damage caused by daily sugar overload. It's like putting vitamins into a dessert. It doesn't make the dessert good for your arteries. The safer choice is simple. If you enjoy milk, go for unsweetened versions and add natural flavors yourself. A spoonful of unsweetened cocoa, a handful of fresh berries, or even a touch of cinnamon can create taste without flooding your body with sugar. For those who miss chocolate milk, blending low-fat milk with pure cocoa powder and just a drop of honey is far less harmful than commercial flavored cartons. And yet, sugar isn't only hidden in flavored milk. One of the oldest dairy staples, condensed milk, packs such an intense sugar load that it can raise blood pressure almost instantly. Let's take a closer look. Condensed milk is a favorite in many kitchens. Thick, creamy, and sweet, it is often used in coffee, desserts, or even eaten straight from the can. But this sweetness hides a dangerous truth. Condensed milk delivers a massive amount of sugar in just a few spoonfuls. When consumed, it causes a sudden spike in blood sugar and blood pressure. For seniors whose arteries may already be less flexible, that sharp rise can put enormous strain on the heart and blood vessels, almost like forcing a fragile pipe to handle a sudden surge of water. Over time, repeated sugar overload leads to stiffened arteries. The blood vessels lose their ability to expand and contract smoothly. This makes the heart work harder and raises the risk of vessel rupture in the brain. A ruptured vessel means blood leaks where it shouldn't, creating a hemorrhagic stroke that can be disabling or even fatal. Another issue is how condensed milk is used. Because it is so sweet, people often underestimate how much they consume. A spoon in coffee, a drizzle over fruit, a layer in desserts, it adds up quickly. Each serving silently increases the burden on the circulatory system. Unlike natural sugars from fruit, which come with fiber and nutrients, the refined sugar in condensed milk offers no protection at all. It's pure stress for the arteries. There are better choices. If you enjoy sweetness in your drinks, try a small amount of honey or stevia in low-fat milk. Even better, use fresh fruit as a natural sweetener in smoothies. These swaps reduce the sugar burden while still satisfying your taste. The goal is not to remove sweetness from life, but to choose it wisely in ways that protect your heart and brain. So tell me, have you ever relied on condensed milk in your daily routine? Press 1 if yes or 0 if not, and subscribe to Health 365 to stay with us on this journey towards safer, healthier habits. And if you think condensed milk is heavy, wait until we look at cream and butter, where hidden fats make the blood so thick that clots form with frightening ease. Cream and butter are beloved in many kitchens. A pat of butter on warm bread or a splash of cream and coffee feels comforting, almost like a small luxury. But for seniors, these indulgences can quickly turn into hidden dangers. Cream and butter are dense and saturated fats, and during processing, they may also contain trans fats. Together, these raise triglycerides and LDL cholesterol, thickening the blood and making it harder to flow smoothly. Thick blood is not just slower, it also makes clots more likely. And when a clot travels to the brain, it can block circulation within minutes, triggering a stroke. What makes cream and butter especially concerning is how easy it is to use more than intended. A tablespoon of butter or cream may not look like much, but when repeated daily, it quietly loads the body with unhealthy fats. Over time, the arteries stiffen, the heart strains harder, and the risk of both heart attack and stroke increases sharply. Seniors often assume that natural dairy fat is harmless. Yet, studies consistently show that saturated fat contributes to vascular disease just as strongly as some processed foods. The good news is that you don't have to give up flavor. Instead of heavy cream, try milk alternatives like unsweetened oat milk or low-fat half and half. For spreading on bread, avocado or olive oil-based spreads provide healthy fats that actually support heart health. Even small substitutions like these can protect circulation without removing enjoyment from meals. Another useful tip is portion awareness. Using a teaspoon rather than a tablespoon can make a real difference over weeks and months. By reducing hidden fats little by little, you create a gentler environment for your arteries to stay flexible and strong. Now that we've walked through all 7 hidden dangers, it's clear that the real lesson is bigger than any single product. Avoiding risk is about building patterns, choosing foods that nourish, habits that protect, and lifestyles that allow the heart to beat and the brain to thrive for years to come. Today, you've seen how 7 common milk products, things believed were harmless, can quietly raise the risk of stroke. On the surface, they feel comforting, but inside the body, they strain the heart, damage arteries, and make strokes far more likely. Here's the hopeful truth: your health isn't shaped by one single food, but by daily choices. Switching to low-fat or plant-based options, adding vegetables and fruits, staying active, and monitoring blood pressure are habits that protect both heart and brain. It's not about restriction, but balance. Have you ever changed a food habit after learning it was harmful? Share your story in the comments. It may inspire others. If this video helped you, give it a like and subscribe to Health 304 so you don't miss simple steps that make aging healthier and stronger. In our next video, we'll explore everyday habits beyond food that also shape your stroke risk.